Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and we have the patch notes for the Magneto and MAGIK mini update for winter. The paywall uniforms, yay, so exciting! We're going to talk about the patch notes. We're going to talk about the two uniforms, the tier 3, the tier 4, the artifacts, and then we're going to talk about the rest of the sales that are coming with the winter events, because not only do they relate to getting MAGIK's uniform, and if you want 2 black cats and white foxes and I guess Gwenpools and stuff like that, but because there are also some things to keep note of. There are like some other important things even if you're not spending any money. So here we go. The update is going to go live tonight at 7 p.m. It's going to be a rolling patch. There's no downtime maintenance, but it's going to start at around 7 p.m. Pacific time, which is 10 p.m. Eastern time for me here in Canada, Toronto. So I'm going to be live at 10 p.m. or thereabouts. Sometimes these patches are a little bit early, 9:30, 10, but it's still early enough for me that I don't have to take a nap beforehand, so it should be very good. So yes, I will be live here on YouTube to live stream Magneto and MAGIK and everything else. Now, let's see what we're getting. Magneto's getting a full cost uniform, so there is no discount on his uniform. There will never be a discount on this uniform. It will always be $17.50. And also, this uniform will only ever be available during the winter time, so just keep that in mind. These are seasonal uniforms. They come around once a year, so you really have to be careful deciding, but you also need to make sure that if you're saying no, then you don't like panic later, because you can't really go back and buy it later. Anywho, his uniform effect is now going to give him 20% crit damage. It's bumping up his chain hit to 25% from, I believe, 20, and then it's also giving him 20% guaranteed crit rate. The 20% guaranteed crit rate we actually don't see a lot these days added on to characters that don't already have it. So this is what, again, makes me believe that he is going to be used primarily for ABX. Apparently they buffed up his ultimate skill. It's under the changed. It doesn't, like, I can't tell that it's buffed up, but like, let's just hope that it's a lot stronger and that it's cancelable instantly. They buffed up his leadership by 5%, which seems kind of petty. But then they gave his passive, which was repulsion, that just did a little bit of damage when you got near him with lightning. It was a pretty sad passive, to be honest. It did apply a snare effect, which was nice, but that was it. They've now buffed that to 20% energy attack and then super armor all defense. His tier 2 passive is giving him increased debuff effect, so that's going to be like all defense down, stuff like that is going to increase its effect by 10%, its duration by 20, skill damage, bonus damage, and then increasing basic damage dealt to human characters. Now, I've seen a lot of people say that they should change this passive on Magneto to being alien characters, and then they should maybe reduce it to 40% or 30%, just so that he's actually useful for PvE content, where we mostly see alien bosses. Like Null is an alien. I think Mephisto's not an alien, but Null is an alien. Gore is an alien. Obviously, Thanos and the Black Order are all aliens. Like, there's a lot of aliens in Marvel Future Fight as far as typing goes. Actually, no, Mephisto is other. That's what I thought. But yeah, there are a lot of aliens as enemies. So I can understand why, or like creature types or something like that. Human doesn't really help. It's really just like a Shadowland type of thing. And I guess like the rare PvP scenario. But yeah, I don't know. As far as his skills go, a lot of people have said the following two things. 1, 4 of his skills have 0 buffs. 0 buffs. And then his last skill has a 1.5% accumulation and a 30% heal. So it's nice that he finally got a heal and he got a very fat accumulation for 10 seconds. It's very, very nice. However, it is frustrating that none of his other skills have any buffs at all. No frenzy buffs, nothing. On the flip side, so that's like the negative. On the positive, he has silence, burn, paralysis, fracture, and snare. He has all of the ABX abilities, and he has 2 out of the 3 ABL abilities. The only one he's missing is shock, and that would be easy to put on if you just have him tier 4 and use a striker that applies shock like Thor, or you just switch to a character that has shock in their kit like Storm. So yeah, a pretty interesting uniform for Magneto. I definitely think they could have gone harder with his buffs, but we'll have to wait and see how strong he is before we come to that conclusion. So like, I'm not really impressed with him right now, but I'm also not going to jump to conclusions that say he's really bad. For MAGIK, she's getting a holiday token uniform, so they continue the tradition of only ever giving uniforms or paywall uniforms to female characters. The simping shall never stop in Marvel Future Fight. And she gets like some pretty drastic buffs here. She gets 10% chain hit, and she basically gets always 100% chance for plus 40% crit damage. So her crit damage will always be 40% higher than whatever it says on the details page, which means it can go up to 240%. Her leadership has been changed completely to now just being a worse version of Magneto's leadership, but it's still nice to have another mutant buffing leadership because there are very few mutant buffing leaderships. She now gets 25% ignore dodge with a bunch of attack, defense, speed, crit rate buffs, like basically a permanent frenzy buff, as well as 40% increased damage to supervillains. However, this is a self-buffing passive. This is not a team passive. And then her other passive gives her super armor, all defense, damage reduction, and skill damage bonus damage. So here's where we start to see a shift for Magik. It seems like they're trying to position her as a PvP character. They're giving her a second skill that has counterattack and iframe ignore. So that's a big sign that they want to use the character for PvP. It's a 12-second cooldown on this skill, so that means she can pop this every 6 seconds. This skill also gives her a heal, which is very important because she's going to be popping it every 6 seconds. However, it only gives her 25% penetration. This is very disappointing. This seems to run very counterintuitive to what it is they're trying to do. Unless this skill has a lot of hits, I'm talking like 30, 40 hits on a single skill, this is not really going to cut it. 25% is lower than what a CTP of destruction gives. Now, a lot of people might be like, ooh, but you can build her hybrid. Sure, knock yourself out. But nowadays, for characters to compete with Gore and Jean Grey, they have to be very, very strong at tier 3, and I just don't think this is going to cut it. The rest of her kit is fairly straightforward. She has Snare. She has a 16 hit barrier for 8 seconds. That's a big time barrier that could be meaningful. Then she has Fracture with all defense down and resistance down, and then all attack. And then she has paralysis and invincibility. So no accumulation, no other frenzy buffs. She does have an 80% attack buff here for 10 seconds on demonic explosion. That's pretty huge. 80% is like, you know, Human Torch, Loki levels of buffs. So she does have some interesting buffs. But again, with only one heal, with only 25% chance to penetrate, it really doesn't seem like they went far enough for her either. So I'm honestly underwhelmed by both of these uniforms right now for both Magik and Magneto. I don't think these are holiday uniforms right now in terms of their power level. We don't want them to be too strong, but they also seem kind of weak. As far as the tier 3 goes for Magik, it looks pretty cool. She turns into kind of a demon, and then she slams her sword down. However, Limbo's Flame doesn't apply any burn damage. So go figure what that means. Magneto's tier 4 is now the second tier 4 in the game to apply actual damage. So this is very interesting. His skill effect, when the striker skill is used, it snares enemies in the area, and then it also increases his basic attack by 90% for 10 seconds. However, the damage that it deals is only 190% of his energy attack. If we compare that to Blue Dragon, hers is 1000% of energy attack. Oh, well, of her attack, but it also happens to be energy attack. So yeah, Blue Dragon's damage is 5 times, like the damage multiplier here is 5 times as big as Magneto's. So we'll have to see if Magneto has more hits on his tier 4 skill or whatever. But it is interesting to see another tier 4 with damaging skill, right? So that Blue Dragon is not the only one. As far as the artifacts go, Magneto's is pretty boring. It's just ignore dodge and increased damage dealt to boss types. But again, it reinforces his value for PvE, ABX, ABL type game modes. For Magik, it gives her the null passive. So she basically has the immortality like Wolverine, like Mr. Sinister does, like Carnage has. Again, this solidifies the devs wanting to push Magik for PvP, but I just don't think this is enough. I do think she's going to need the artifact to be relevant in PvP, but I think even with the artifact, she's not really going to do much. She might have a couple flashy clips where her counterattack kills a Jean Grey or something, and you're like, oh my god! But otherwise, yeah, I think this is just... Yeah, they should probably go back and buff her kit. I don't know. Maybe, like, she doesn't even have a lot of HP. That's the other thing. Like, she needs, like, an HP passive to bump her HP by, like, 50% or whatever. These characters need to be way, way tankier to properly utilize these passives. I mean, Wolverine and Carnage have them, and they're both still struggling to compete with Gore and Jean Grey. So yeah, that's it for the patch notes as far as what we're getting. However, we're getting a bunch of events, like I said. So the first holiday event celebration post is just very straightforward. We have the new uniforms and how you can purchase them. That's paywall, that's full crystals. These are all coming back as well. I wouldn't pick up any of the crystal ones for Groot, Deadpool, or Kingpin. I would not pick up Gwenpools, but I would consider picking up White Foxes and Black Cats if you are interested in pushing PvE content, particularly ABX and ABL. If you're not interested in pushing ABX and ABL, I think both of these uniforms are a skip for Black Cat and White Fox, but that is up to you. I can do an updated look at these uniforms later on to sort of give you guys my opinion, but that's honestly probably where my opinion is going to be. Again, these uniforms are only available right now for the next like 2 or 3 weeks, but yeah, they're also like not discounted at all, so yeah. All uniforms are going to be on sale, so there's going to be a 40% discount on all other uniforms. Again, these uniforms don't get discounted. Magneto's doesn't get discounted either. We have a hero growth bonus mission. We have character rankings. We have an energy bonus mission. We have a gift for tier 2 materials. We have a new faction war with Avengers versus X-Men, so you can get some rewards here like XP chips, bios, energy, and a 6-star rank up ticket. These deluxe rewards are not worth it at all, so don't bother buying this unless you want to get the tier 2 mega ticket, because yeah, for 2,000 crystals getting a tier 2 mega ticket is not bad. And then we have the extra holiday tokens. So it's kind of confusing, but there's basically 2 types of holiday tokens. There's the white ones that you use for the paywall uniforms, and they look like this up here. These white ones here, it's kind of hard to see, but it's like that with a little icon. It matches what's on Magic's costume. And then there's these blue ones that have a snowflake. These blue snowflake ones, you're just going to collect them from doing the event stages, the winter event stages, and then you can only use them to open these holiday special chests, which have a chance to drop tier 2, tier 3 materials, rank up tickets, and then CTPs. So yeah, you can't exchange the tokens for different things. They just, the white tokens are just for the uniforms and like a token shop, like an overpriced token shop. And then these blue holiday tokens are just for these holiday chests. And then we're also getting some tier 3 materials for free. We're getting 100 of each. That's nice. That's more than they used to do. Hopefully they make this a regular thing where they give this out every single update, but they need to start giving out tier 4 materials. And then we have the 7-day check-in. As always, there's going to be 10 tokens given on the 7th day. So if you want to get Magic's uniform for the absolute minimum, you want to wait until day 7. You want to pick up the 10 tokens, and then you want to buy something like Magneto's holiday chest number 2, and you want to buy that 2 times. That's the absolute cheapest, most efficient way to get the paywall uniform. It costs you $20 US. And that's basically it. The chests themselves don't hold anything too special, but you're buying it for the crystals, which is pretty good still for the amount of money, and then the holiday tokens. The other events that are happening, we have this. So this is Magic's holiday token shop. Again, you have the uniforms and you have these random chests. So you could also buy more tokens if you're spending more money. And then you'd have excess holiday tokens if you don't want to, or you don't have any other uniforms to buy, where you can buy these chests. Again, I don't recommend getting these chests. I'm just showing you guys what they have in case you're interested. But yeah, these are this sort of standard holiday token chest shop thing. Last thing I want to mention here, is that they're bringing back the 1 to 6-star artifact event. They only did this once this year, so this is the second time this year that they're doing it. So basically what they're doing is they're bumping up the available artifacts in the crystal chests. So right now, if you go to the shop, you can see that the crystal chests that you buy only have these ones right here. They only have 1 to 4-star artifacts. It says right there, get 10 1 to 4-star artifacts, 1 to 4-star. So they're bumping them up to be 1 to 6-star. That's a pretty big buff. Now, again, it's still a very small chance to get the artifact you want. It's a 2% chance to get a 5 or 6-star artifact. I'm not saying that you should go ahead and gamble. I'm just saying for the whales out there, this is a pretty spicy opportunity. I'm probably going to be throwing some cash at this one just because I want to see if I can pull some nice 6-star artifacts. But yeah, just keep that in mind. It's still a whale trap. It's still overpriced, all that stuff. But yeah, they only do this event a couple times a year. So if it's something that you were looking forward to, I just wanted to bring it to your attention because it's you know, it comes around very infrequently and it's only available for 4 days. So yeah, you blink and you'll miss it. So yeah, those are the patch notes. I'm not really impressed. Hopefully the patch itself tonight will be more impressive. Hopefully Magneto and Magic will, you know, exceed expectations rather than under delivering. But in order to find out, you got to check out the stream. So yeah, I'll catch you guys on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button, and I'll see you tonight. Take care.